Okay. All right, Umang sir. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you everyone for this confirmation. Thank you, sir. So that's what I told that. Uh, so these are the two ways through which we can make machine learning. And yesterday, and the last one more important part that I explained that what is structured data and what is unstructured data. So with lots of example in a very depth and detail, I explained that all the data of the universe, they are broadly into two categories. One is structured data and second was unstructured data. So that's what I explained all about. And finally, I told you that if we have structured data, we will apply the machine learning. If we have unstructured data, then we'll go for deep learning. So I have explained with lots of example that in unstructured data we include basically images, audio, video, and text. So these are the some type of data that uh, I have explained yesterday with some example. So yes, that's right, Hasditi, that's right, exactly. So okay, I think yes, Subhas sir. I will say that I think Subhas sir has asked a very good question that how this these concept came into the existence. Yes, I will answer it in a very from the very basics. I'll answer it. Okay, Neeraj sir. By the way, I had answered it this question yesterday as well, but no issues. I will answer it one more time. That text is uh, uh, how text is unstructured data. Okay, so Neeraj sir, oh, oops, please just give me a second. Let me switch on the my charging point. Just a second. Okay, so Neeraj sir, you have asked that how text is unstructured. Okay, no issues. Neeraj sir, before that, I want to ask a question. Are you convinced that images are unstructured? Are you convinced that images are unstructured? Okay. So if you convince, then it is very easy. Suppose uh, if I ask you, if I ask a question, okay, thank you, Neeraj sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for this confirmation. So, Neeraj sir, suppose if I ask you the question, uh, that write down a paragraph on pollution in India, right? I just want to, I want write down a paragraph pollution in India. And let's suppose I ask this task to be done by all the faculties. So I could see there are more than 300 faculties that this time currently connected with me. So if I ask, so this paragraph is written by first faculty member, this is the second member. So in that way, this is the third comment, fourth comment. So all these, suppose in that way, I got 300 comments. I got 300 comments. Already, yes, sir. So all these 300 comments about pollution of India, so they all, their content may not be same, over will be the same. All the comments are telling about pollution in India. Text is all about pollution. It's the same information available over here is also available over here. This message also overall context. The tone of all these 300 will be the same. We have the information about, but their words are not going to be same. So this information is represented in a different of multiple form. Explain, Neeraj sir? Are you comfortable with that, Neeraj sir? Okay. Thank you, Neeraj sir. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Niti ma'am. You're welcome. Thank you so much. So, yesterday I have explained all these things. that Y images, and yesterday I told concept ROI, I told about ROI. So these are the some things, some of the terminologies that I explained. No, Himanshi ma'am, no. Data collected from Google, data collected from Google, if you are collecting, I think that's really very good question. Himanshi ma'am, suppose if you are collecting age, if you are collecting city, if you're collecting state, if you're collecting college, right, like this. So these informations are, I'll say that, uh, structured data. But suppose there is a column remark. So the value of remark is going to be uh, that, because that will contain text values. If you have upload your picture, photograph, upload your picture, photograph. So the data of photograph, the data of remark, the data of suggestion, the data of feedback, they all comes under unstructured. All right, ma'am. So actually, Google Form is the way to collect the data. So it doesn't mean that if we are collecting via Google Form, it doesn't mean that the data is structured or unstructured. The data is structured or unstructured. It's all based on the nature of the data. Yes, Pooja ma'am, again, I will say that no, Excel is a way. Excel is a way. I'll say that Excel is a way to store. Let's suppose in Excel there is a column remark, and everybody has written a remark of 300 words. So all the values of remark column, I will say that that is unstructured data. All right, Pooja ma'am. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Arumugamji. Thank you so much. Yes. Exactly. I agreed, Tara ma'am. Tara ma'am, I hope you remember yesterday when I explained the difference between that, whenever I explain this. So this is one of the criteria that, okay, that we can store rows and column. And ma'am, when I'll explain about deep learning, then I will say that images are also a tabular data. I will say when I'll teach about deep learning, then I will say that images are also tabular data. I hope you remember I told that we have an image of 8 by 8. So 8 by 8 is what? 8 rows and 8 columns. So images are also can be stored into, but that's not important. The important is its ROI is not structured. Its ROI is not structured. Yes. So exactly same way, your column is the remark column is the data where you are storing, but context, suppose this message is all about pollution, this message is all about something other, uh, this is like politics, it is related to the politics, this comment is all about sports, this comment is all about technology. All right. So this column is kind of one image, but in this image ROI is not same. ROI, suppose all 300 faculties have written, all 300 faculty have written and remark about pollution. But suppose this faculty have written about population, this faculty has written about technology, this pollution have written about sports. Okay. All right. So that's just the way Excel, SQL Server, they all are just the way, they are the platform where we can store the data. But the nature of the data that I'm storing, that is structured, non-structured. It depends upon its nature. So uh, the easiest way, and the easiest way is if it is a text, kind of like WhatsApp text, right? And it's WhatsApp. See, one more thing. If I ask all the people to enter city, so what city I'll write? I'll write suppose Delhi, like Kanpur, Lucknow. So can you see that? this column still contains text, still, but it is not unstructured. It is not. It is not unstructured. This is not unstructured. So, in fact, this is a kind of categorical values or discrete categorical values. So, if data is in the format of paragraph, like WhatsApp messages is an example of unstructured. If you set some status of your WhatsApp, if you send some remark on the Twitter and post, so anything in the terms of paragraph, right, where the amount is not fixed. So can you see that if I write uh, here like name, here if I write name, so all the names are, even they are not categorical, but still this is a name, this is a name, this is, so context of all the column, all the values are same. The context, and that context already given that all the column contains name. And imagine, suppose there is a column and the column is remark. Suppose if I ask you that all the faculty please write a remark. So it could be possible that one faculty might write remark about pollution in India. Second faculty might write also pollution. Third one is writing about technology in India. Next is sports, even in India. So these data do not contain a similar structure. Their reason of interest is not same. Yes, yes. Yes, Jyoti ma'am, did I miss your question? Yes, I think topic you have written a very fantastic one abstract picture you have given, that not, you cannot say that single word. Suppose there are name, city name, and or state name, but some of the states they have more than one words. All right. So we cannot say that if more than one words means, you can say if we have a paragraph kind of thing, essay kind of thing, messages, remarks, these kind of things are actually unstructured. Okay. I think there is, let me tell you that there is one more format. I think most of the faculties are asking the question. So, structured data and unstructured data, in between that, there is one more format, that is semi structured data. And its example is XML. Sir, XML, I'm sure that most of you are, like those who are not from CS background, they might not be familiar with XML, or I'll say it is similar to like HTML. But I'm sure that those who are from the CS background, you all, everybody knows about XML. So, so yeah, so from I'll say that XML comes under semi-structure. Why? It is not in the format of row and column, but still every data contains metadata. Every data contains metadata, and that's why it is known as semi-structured. Yes, yes. Okay, so anyway, I have explained all these terminologies, and I told you that for unstructured data, we have to apply deep learning, and for structured data, we have to apply machine learning. And finally, the last point that I explained, that the intersection of this, can you see that this bubble that I have drawn, this intersection is known as data science. This intersection is known as data science. So that was the last topic that data science. That was the last topic that I discussed, data science. So, and when in the last, at the end of the session, when I had drawn this, one of the faculty member has asked the question that why this intersection? There was one question that one of the faculty member has asked, that why there are the two parts. So I remember, I hope you remember, I told that this circle we can divide into two parts. Number one is this outer part, and number two is this inner part. Number one is outer part, and number two is this inner part. So now let me tell you that what was the actual purpose of data science. The data science is a way for, it's a scientific way for processing, and after processing, what we have to do, we have to do the analysis. We have to do the analysis. So ultimately in data science, the end part is that we have to, after processing, we have to analyze the data. Now the thing is, what do we mean by analyze? Analyze means to understand the data, to get some meaning from the data, to get some information from the data. That's all is all about analyzing the data. So if I ask you that in data science, what we have to do? So simply we have to analyze the data. So this analysis, the science of analysis is also known as data analytics. Data analytics. This process of analyzing the data, the process of analyzing the data is known as data analytics. So let me clean everything, and let me clean. And I will simply write like this. Thus, this is the data science. And I will say that this data science, what we are going to do in this data science, we are going to do the data analytics we are going to analyze the data. We are going to analyze the data in a scientific way. So data analytics is kind of, yes, Arnav sir, that's right. And that's why, because their way and methodologies are different, and that's why for unstructured, we have entirely different approach. And that's why this different approach is named as deep learning. All right, Arnav sir? And if it is structured data, that is quite easier. But again, we cannot say that it's easier. But of course, machine learning algorithms, they normally get trained much easier in less span of time. And the algorithm of deep learning, they takes much more longer time to converge and to get trained. All right, sir. So I'll say that from complexity point of view, from training point of view, of course, in deep learning, the system has to learn a lot for getting more accuracy. Okay, so I'll say that in data science, what we are going to do, we are going to do the data analytics. Data analytics. So I'll say that if I ask you the question in data science, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? So in data science, we are going to analyze the data. So the process of analyzing the data is also known as data analytics. So data analytics is the part of, I repeat, data analytics is the part of data science. And this data analytics is broadly divided into two parts. I'll say that the data analytics that we done under the data science, I repeat, the data analytics that we done under the data science is broadly divided into two categories. So let me write it. Number one is, see, they are not exactly two. So we can say that data analytics that we do in the data science in a two ways. Number one is descriptive analytics. And number two is predictive analytics. See, we'll talk about these two broad categories, that data analytics that we done under the data science, is broadly two types. Now look at this. I said that this complete is the data science, and this data science, we can do the data analysis part, and that data analysis can be done inside the data science. This data analysis can be done into two modes. One is descriptive analytics, this is the part one, and two is the predictive analytics, right? So this entire is the data science. I like this entire outer in this cell, that green colored cell that I've drawn, it is data science. Now, can you tell me that, look at this, can you say that AI is the part of this part two? AI comes under the part two of the data science. Can you say like that? Right? Similarly, machine learning also comes under the part two of the data science. I repeat, machine learning also comes under the part two. Deep learning also comes under part two. AI, ML, and DL, they do not, I'll say that they do not include the part one. They all include the part number two. So if I say that AI is the part of what? AI is the part of predictive analytics. So inside the predictive analytics, what do we study? We basically study AI. Inside the predictive analytics, what do we use? We'll use AI. But AI is a concept that we have to make our machine intelligent. Now the question is how? So either through machine learning or through deep learning. Now this one is descriptive analytics. Number one is descriptive analytics. Now let me explain that what does it mean by descriptive analytics and what does it mean by predictive analytics. And I'll explain with one use case example. All right, let me explain with one use case example. Let me open. Hmm, let me open. Yes. All right. Yeah. So now look at this very interesting example. I'm going to explain you that what is uh, the difference between descriptive analytics and predictive analytics. But before that, let me show you something interesting part. Okay, so I think till now, I have already explained what is AI. I already explained inside the AI in the Venn diagram, we have seen the machine learning and then we had the deep learning. And I also explained that data science. So in data science, what we are going to do, we are going to analyze the data by using the data science. We are going to analyze the data by using data science. So the process of analyzing the data is also known as data analytics. And this is broadly divided into two categories. Actually, there are a few more categories, but right now I'll be discussing these two categories. One is descriptive analytics and second is predictive analytics. Descriptive analytics and predictive. So let's understand that what does it mean by descriptive analytics and predictive analytics. Let's come back. Okay. So that's what I'm going to explain. Okay. So under the data science, what is descriptive, what is predictive, that's what we need to understand. Just keep in mind that what is our objective. So I'll explain with one use case example. So just imagine we have some data. This is some random, some dummy data is given. And I'll say that this is some weather report data. This is some weather report data. And this weather report data is is old recorded data. I repeat, this is something I say that it is old recorded data, right? Old data, or I'll say that, okay, old data. I hope you remember yesterday I told that some terminologies that I have drawn, I have designed, I have invented. So few of the terminology you might not found anywhere in the internet. And there are some examples that I'll be explaining. It could be possible that you won't find anywhere on the internet because those are designed and invented by me only. So in any one of the examples, if you have any queries, so please feel free to mm, just you can write on your queries. I will definitely help you to understand all those concepts. I'm saying that just imagine that we have this one weather report data, and old data means, let's suppose this data belongs to 2019, January 2019, for example. See, I have written so that in your brain, if you look this data, immediately the picture should come to your mind that I am talking about some old data. I have written this date, year and month, so that if you look at this data, a picture should strike to your brain that I'm talking about some old data, past data, also known as historical data. And it's all about January 2019. So what is this value in the first column? It is the date of the January. It is the date of the January, right? And as I said that this is the weather report data, right? This is the weather report data. And in this weather report data, X represent the date. X represent the date, like 1st of January, 2nd of January, 3rd. This is representing date. And the second column represents the rainfall. Rainfall in millimeter. That now you can see that this data tells us that on 1st of January, our some IoT sensor in 2019, please remember, we are talking about old data. We are talking about old data, all right? So now I said that in 1st January 2019, our IoT sensor, some weather report sensor data has recorded 1 mm of rainfall. On 2nd of January, again, this is the old data, 2nd January 2019, our sensor recorded 4 mm of rainfall. In that way, I'll say that we had some old data. Now, if I ask you, for descriptive analytics, if I ask you to do the descriptive analytics, so what is descriptive analytics? Descriptive analytics means analyze the old data. Please, again, I have already written this data is old data. It means we are on the right track. So descriptive analytics means analyze the old data, and after analysis, get some conclusion about what was happened in the past. I repeat, what is descriptive analytics? Descriptive analytics says that analyze, process and analyze the old data and tell me something about what was happened in the past. So descriptive analytics is all about analyze the old data and tell me some hidden facts about old time, about that old event. So whatever has been past, tell me something about that past, that what was happened. That's all about descriptive analytics. Yes, I think that's exactly. So that's why, yes, Rohan sir, exactly. And that's why its name is written like a description, means we are describing, by using old data, we are describing that what was happened in the past, what was happened in the past. All right, that's what is the descriptive analytics. I repeat, descriptive analytics means analyze, process and analyze the old data and tell us some conclusions about the old data. For example, let's suppose we have very minute observation. We did some minute observation, and let me clean it first. Okay. So now suppose we have done very minute observation over here, and we have seen that in the January 2019, our average rain, suppose average rain is X mm, some amount is there. Let's suppose we got X amount of average rain. And after calculating average, we found that last year, in the month of January, in the winters, in the month of January, we had a good rain. We had a very good rain in the past, right? So once again, I'm telling that by analyzing the old data, we are getting some value, and this value tells us that in January last year, we got a very good rain. So this conclusion is all about what was happened in the past. That's the descriptive analytics. Uh, Taraji, I'll just give me 2-3 minutes more. I will come to your answer. Yeah, I think that's a very good question. I think uh, so many faculty intuitively they will get this question. So I'll answer it. Just allow me a few more minutes. Uh, so once again, what is descriptive analytics? Analyze the old data and get some conclusion about what was happened in the past. Okay, now I'm going to explain all about rule number 2, that what is predictive analytics. Now imagine, now if I say that we have the data, and this time the type of this type of data is not only 2019 January. Such type of data we have from last 50 years of data. We have last 50 years of data. I repeat, we have last 50 years of data. And if I ask you that, analyze this old data. Again, please remember, again, I'm talking about this is also 50 years, last 50 year data is also old data. This last 50 years of data is also my old data. But now if I say, analyze this last 50 year of data and tell me that in future, tomorrow in future, how much rain we are going to expect. Tell me that tomorrow in future, how much rain we are going to expect. That is predictive analytics. So descriptive analytics, yes, Bharti ma'am. So did you notice that in both the cases, we need to analyze the old data. In both the cases, we need to analyze the old data. But after analyzing the old data, if we are making some prediction about future, or we are finding some unknown value, we are finding some value that is not yet known to us, and that finding that unknown value, future value, is known as predictive value. Sir, let me give you a very excellent example. In IRCTC, I hope you must have seen, I would say from last 2 years when the COVID started, I'm sure that most of the people, they avoided traveling, but I'm sure at least before COVID, I'm sure that most of you have done some traveling by train. So if you have done the train traveling, and definitely if you try to book the ticket in IRCTC, I'm sure that you must have seen a feature in IRCTC that if you try to book a train ticket in a train for which the seats are already in wait list. So if you try to book a waiting list ticket, so IRCTC will tell you, even before booking the ticket, even before booking your train ticket, even before making your payment, IRCTC will tell you well in advance that if you book this waitlist ticket, then this ticket will confirm or not confirm in the future. That, yes, exactly, France, that's right. So that is all predictive analytics. Yes, Vinod sir. The data science is a different term. Data science means if you do anything with data, that comes under data science. If you do anything with the data, but what we are doing by analyzing the data if you're telling some fact about what was happened in the past, that is descriptive analytics. Yes, I think Sunil sir has written a very fantastic formula. That's really impressive. Can say wherever probability for finding some unknown values the predictive. Exactly. I think Sunil sir has written a very creative way of writing this. So Sunil sir, I'll be using your formula for my future sessions. I think this is really very good formula. I think probability is predictive. Exactly. That what is going to happen in the future or whenever we need to find something that I hope you must have seen in your mobile app. You must have like weather report app like AccuWeather or some other weather report app. They can tell you well in advance, like after 2 day, after 3 day, will it be rain or not, will it be a sunny day or not. So they all comes under predictive analytics. They all comes under predictive analytics. All right. So now I request everyone. Yes, yes, exactly, Suchita ma'am. That forecasting is purely predictive analytics. That's purely predictive analytics. Fuzzy logic is slightly different. Fuzzy logic is slightly different. Actually, right now we are not going to discuss that. Is slightly different about fuzzy logic, but that also comes under the, we can say, kind of a predictive. That comes under the predictive, where we cannot get exact answer. Also, basically inside the unsupervised, we sometimes we deal with the unsupervised clustering way if we have a fuzzy kind of fuzzy logic when we have to apply. So anyway, like yes, yes, yes. No, no, predictive analytics logics are different thing. This is the type of analytics that we done in yeah. So, in a very simple way, let me clear it. Let me explain it one more time. By analyzing the old historical data, if you are telling something about this old data, something extra information about that we had the good rain or the rain was not very good. So this kind of data is all about right. So that is all about this. If we are describing the old data, that is descriptive. But by using old data, we are making some future prediction that is predictive analytics. All right. So I request uh, Magin sir, I in the beginning today I gave a complete recap of what I did yesterday. Did you miss that recap part of that I explained today in the beginning session, sir? Okay, okay, okay. No issues. I'll try to find out some solutions. Sure, sure, sure. No issues. So okay. So, but before that, I request everyone, please give me confirmation. Are you able to understand the difference between descriptive analytics and predictive analytics? Please give me a confirmation so that I'll be ensured that I'm able to explain to everyone what is descriptive, what is predictive. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much for such a compliment, Rajan sir. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you, Neeraj sir. Thank you, Vinod sir. Thank you, Vinod Kumar sir. Thank you, Nidhi ma'am. Thank you so much for such a lovely compliment. No, 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 Jobin sir, that is predictive. That is predictive. That what person is going to buy in the future, whether the person will buy milk or bread, right? So based on future past data, if you're making guess about future, that is all predictive analytics. Thank you so much, Sudhir sir, for such a lovely compliment. Thank you so much. Yes, Aruna ma'am, that's right. There is only thing, small correction, Aruna ma'am, that for predictive analysis of old data, analyze the old data to find out future outcome or unknown outcome. Rather than ma'am predicting current value, we can say future value or unknown value. Better you can use unknown value. So unknown value could be anything, either future or current value. Okay, thank you so much. I think, Rohan sir, you have written a very, very innovative compliment. Thank you so much. No, Pooja ma'am. Actually, old data is required for both. For both, we need old data. For descriptive also, we need old data. For predictive also, we need old data. But by using old data, what we are telling, if we are telling something about the old data, if you're describing something about the old data, that is, Miss, uh, ma'am, suppose this is the data of 2019, right? And I'm telling that in 2019, we had a very poor rainfall, or we had a very good rainfall. We have a very good rainfall, very heavy rainfall. So this information is conclusion from this data. But this conclusion is all about this past event. But if you are writing a code in a such a way that my logic can tell me that what is going to happen in the future, so that is predictive. Yes, data mining also comes under this part, data science. Basically, uh, we deal with the unsupervised machine learning. Yes, Prakash sir. Okay, I think that's again a very good question. I think Tamil Rasiji, that you have asked a very question, that what is the need of that data? Okay, so thank you so much. Uh, uh, Please just give me a second. Just give me a second, please. I just need one. All right. Uh, uh, yes, I request, can we have a small bio break for 3 to 4 minutes? I just need a small bio break or 4 minute, or let's have a small 5 minute of bio break. Okay, so I request, please let's have a small 5 minute of bio break. I'll be back in 5 minutes, please. Please.